Ahoy and howdy, this is PhantomStrider. Let's visit the darker side of Bikini Bottom. Occasionally, we'll get times where SpongeBob might be unsettling or maybe even shocking. As SpongeBob has gotten into its later seasons, the creators have become more daring with some of the creepy concepts and imagery they try. So let's enjoy the creepiness together. Let's check out the top 5 creepiest SpongeBob episodes. Number 5. Planet of the Jellyfish. Deep in the jellyfish fields, we see an eerie, translucent creature that isn't quite jellyfish or sea creature. Its brains are clearly visible, and it digests the one jellyfish that goes near it. From these jellyfish remains, it creates an empty-minded zombie army of jellyfish to do its bidding and spread the alien parasite. Whether it's in cartoons or movies, whenever I see these alien domination episodes, they always kind of creep me out. The takeovers tend to be so subtle and insidious. SpongeBob unwittingly helps the alien drone of Patrick to spread the parasite to all his friends.
Well, we've given everyone a jellyfish except Squidward. He probably doesn't want one.
He will take one and like it.
Making them all helpless drones of the jellyfish army.
Good night, Squidward.
There will be plenty of biting this night.
One particularly creepy part is when SpongeBob is at home at night, and one of the jellyfish keeps trying to subtly bite into SpongeBob's head while he isn't looking. And just look at Krabs here. Those eyes are downright horrifying.
Please accept this free jellyfish hat instead. Thank you. Come again.
Every citizen of Bikini Bottom gradually becomes possessed drones of this alien organism. Except for Sandy, who eventually uses mayonnaise to help SpongeBob work out a way to save everyone.
We know your weakness. Show 'em, SpongeBob.
Number 4. I was once a teenage Gary. This episode is notorious for ghoulish transformations. SpongeBob is off to the annual jellyfish convention, leaving Squidward in charge of Gary.
You guys deserve a weekend away.
You'll do it? Great! Let me show you a little bit about snail care.
But Squidward forgets to feed Gary, and we soon discover he's starving to death.
I gotta do something.
When they take Gary to the doctor, Squidward accidentally injects SpongeBob with snail plasma. Soon after, SpongeBob's eyes gouge out. And in a surprisingly disturbing scene, he mutates into a snail sponge thing. What makes this episode so ominous is seeing SpongeBob transform into something that isn't quite snail, yet isn't quite sea creature either. It's like some creepy homunculi or something. Squidward barricades his door, but nothing will keep this snail sponge thing from invading his house. And like many horrors, it eventually leads to the protagonist becoming the horror.
Oh, meow, meow.
Apparently, both SpongeBob and Squidward are turned into snails indefinitely, though they're back to normal in the next episode, so I don't know, maybe Sandy fixed them up or something. And the third creepiest SpongeBob episode is Ghoul Fools. This one was a tricky decision between Ghost Host, for some of the imagery the Flying Dutchman shows SpongeBob, or this one. And even though Ghost Host is the funnier, more enjoyable episode, I'd say Ghoul Fools is a lot creepier. Ghoul Fools had a lot more jump scares, creepy moments, and unsettling imagery. Screaming doorknobs, snakes jumping inside SpongeBob, mutilation of Gary. Even the bleak design of Lord Poltergeist is strangely less toony than the rest of Bikini Bottom, while story-wise is a pretty subpar Season 8 episode. What makes this episode so unnerving is the way it ends. When the Flying Dutchman finally tracks down Lord Poltergeist, he just outright drops a ghostly nuclear bomb on them. And then, well, I'm not actually sure what happens. Are SpongeBob and the crew in some sort of afterlife? They still seem to be working the Krusty Krab. But when we get a glimpse of the outside of the Krusty Krab, we see they're being held by a giant, disturbing, cackling SpongeBob wraith of some sort. Or is it the Flying Dutchman? I don't know. I really found this ending strangely unsettling for a SpongeBob episode. And the second creepiest SpongeBob episode is Graveyard Shift. We start this episode with Krabs deciding to keep the Krusty Krab open 24 hours with 2 employees. Really, Krabs? You couldn't just hire one more person?
It'll be just like a sleepover, only we'll be sweaty and covered with grease.
Understandably, I'm guessing no one else is willing to work for Krabs but these 2. During the night shift, Squidward starts telling SpongeBob stories about the spatula-handed fry cook, aka the hash-slinging slasher. A lot of people call this the creepiest episode, but I don't think it's till the second half that this episode starts to get really creepy. At 3 a.m., we watch Squidward standing quietly in the dark, lifeless, empty restaurant as a strange, unknown sound begins to slowly approach him. After he discovers it's just SpongeBob, the lights begin to flicker, just as the hash-slinging slasher was meant to do. As well as the music taking on that unsettling horror ambience, we also get a lot of those creepy horror tropes from B-grade horror movies.
What? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Suddenly, an unknown bus arrives, and a strange, spatula-handed creature enters the Krusty Krab.
Get away, get away, get out of here, you're not welcome here!
But it turns out it was just a shy fellow looking for a job.
Can I have a job application? I brought my own spatula.
I really do wish Krabs had hired this guy. I mean, for one, it shows real dedication to your job to come out to a restaurant at 3 a.m. I imagine Squidward wouldn't mind his shifts getting dropped a bit. I expect he'd appreciate the time off. And personally, I think the #1 creepiest SpongeBob episode is Krabby Patty Creature Feature. Yeesh, how does no one ever talk about this episode? This one is about as creepy as I've ever seen SpongeBob get. We discover Mr. Krabs does secret experiments on modifying his patties, which leads him and Sandy turning the entire town into deformed humanoid hamburger horrors. They essentially transform other fish by feeding them their own insides. It's kinda creepy. It almost feels like a body horror trope in this one. You thought SpongeBob turning into a snail was bad? How about watching every Bikini Bottom citizen's insides burst and fill with patty meat? Or fuse together, forming some sort of zombie patty fish monster? No one is spared. Even the children are surrounded and mutated. There's just something about seeing all the characters we know and love mutated into disturbing shells of their former selves that really creeps me out. This leads all of SpongeBob's friends turning against him. The entire city is set ablaze. Again, there's fire, underwater, really, and smoke. Despite the fact that we are at the bottom of the ocean underwater, there is fire. Alright, but anyway, Bikini Bottom soon becomes a dangerous, hellish landscape. Krabby Patty Creature Feature just came out of nowhere, with some surprisingly intense body horror scenes, combined with one of the weirdest zombie concepts I've ever seen in a cartoon. I personally consider Krabby Patty Creature Feature the creepiest SpongeBob episode. Well, thanks for checking out some of these particularly creepy SpongeBob episodes with me. These sort of darker episodes are fun to discover, so if you happen to know any that I missed, feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. And this here is the recommended video. I can't guarantee it'll be a good recommended video or something you particularly enjoy, because again, YouTube is broken. But you never know, it might be of interest to you by some random chance of extreme luck.